So like everyone, I have long recognized the fig tree's important role in bringing people together, creating community, and showing us that we owe a lot of respect for each other, a lot of appreciation for what we do, what we all do to make the community a better place and to make the world a better place. The fig tree has continued to go beyond words for social action. Just recently, the fig tree promoted voting by all people of all languages. It published an article on voting, telling of the collaboration between Vicki Dalton at the Elections Office and the League of Women Voters to produce translated ballots, which made voting much more accessible to people of all languages here in Spokane. This is a really wonderful example to me of how the fig tree continues to use words and actions to promote social justice. Years ago, I found out that the fig tree is that, and the fig tree is much more. The fig tree goes beyond words to take actions for social justice. And I say this because when I was the director of Refugee Connections, I saw the great community resource directory that the fig tree produced, and I realized that it could be really valuable to the broader community of refugees and immigrants if it were translated into their first languages. Well, World Relief, Alt-Q, and I came together as a group, and we came to Mary and Mary Stamp. We sat around the conference table and we hammered out, how could this be done? The huge cost, the enormously long hours that we would have to spend on this. Fortunately, Mary was supportive from the start. She understood, she saw the importance of this, and Malcolm put his heart and soul into making it happen, into following it through to completion. The 2012-2013 resource directory, translated into 5 languages, came out, and we put copies into the hands of people who would use them, people who were so grateful. And this is how I came to see that the fig tree, Mary Stamp with her wisdom, her drive, and Malcolm and all of the staff and the volunteers, they go beyond words to take action for justice. I'm really grateful that I got to have that opportunity to work intensely with Mary Stamp and all of the fig tree people to create this resource directory, to work for this cause for justice.
I'm Dr. Toby Hallowitz, a naturopathic medical doctor and acupuncturist trained in the classics of Chinese medicine. I've been practicing holistic healing in Coeur d'Alene and Spokane Valley for about 10 years now. In March, we moved into our beautiful new large office space on Sherman Avenue in downtown Coeur d'Alene. As a holistic healer, I look for what is out of balance in the body and find ways to restore it. We are not separated from the natural environment. The local flora and fauna are an integral part of our community. I recently had an article published about me in the fig tree about how I work with the community to restore balance and our relationship with nature. It is so important with everything we have been going through over recent years, and then with the emotional turmoil of politics, pandemic, divisions, and loss of 2020, many of us live in fear. There is so much fear. It can be crippling at times. I see with my patients, my friends, my family, and with me. Sometimes it is hard for us to find the will to go on. What reserves do we pull from? Where do we find the strength? We know this. The answer is why we have community, friends, family, colleagues, and religion. But this community also includes the more than human earth. Just as we lean on our community in times of need, where each one of us in the community supports each other, so too does the community of nature. The fig tree has an important role in bridging the divisiveness in our political landscape. I have been finding this to be an important platform and instrumental component to bring people together. So much so that I continue to advertise and support the fig tree. Like the fig tree, I see commonality between my patients who may be progressive or conservative. Many patients feel comfortable sharing with me their worries about what is going on in the world. There are many fears and different ideas about what is best for this country and our local governance. People care, and that's a good thing. Although we are divided in politics, there's a lot we have in common. I can see it in my patients. They have divisive political views, but I know they can get along together. We need to increase communication, be neighborly, and focus on the things we have in common. We need to get out in nature and foster community. This includes nature, the more than human earth we interact with on a daily basis. The fig tree, more than the words on its pages, offers a platform to connect and share and fosters a community of doing justice, respecting each other, and sharing our love of what we see as important. In my case, healing with love and kindness through fostering our relationship with nature.
Hi, my name is Kiantha Duncan, and I am the current president of the Spokane NAACP and a current partner of the Fig Tree. I learned about the fig tree soon after moving to Spokane, actually. I looked around in different locations and found the papers that felt like they were community driven, and the Fig Tree was one of those papers that I picked up. It was good for me to be able to read about all of the different faith-based initiatives and folks who were reporting in the paper and how they were bringing community together through justice, through understanding, through love, and through kindness. And so that has maintained my commitment to supporting and working with the Fig Tree. The NAACP and the Fig Tree has been in relationship for many, many, many years. And that relationship is very important. It's important for our city, it's important for our membership, and it's important to the subscribers of the Fig Tree. Believe it or not, every bit of work that any organization does towards justice, towards peace, towards love, towards unity is important. And so I support the Fig Tree today and tomorrow, and I hope you will too.
I'm Verne Windham. I'm the choir director at Westminster UCC, and also for much of my life, I've worked for KPBX, Spokane Public Radio, doing just about everything in that wonderful medium. Prior to that, I played in the Spokane Symphony, and for many great years, I conducted the Spokane Youth Orchestra. We are not alone. Ever had to admit that you were a Christian, stammering and stuttering and kind of looking at the ground during the experience? We live alongside and have forever lived alongside fundamentalism. It is simply defined, I am right, and therefore you are wrong. That may be an easy way of drawing a line, but even in doing that, I'm becoming my own kind of fundamentalist. We are emerging, I hope, right now from a very intense example of this. What do we need? We need our personal fundamentalism challenged. Seeing the other is not simply a spineless capitulation to an external tolerance while we earnestly protect our deep-seated preconceptions. Instead, we need not just the information, but the challenge of the other. This is a strong value the Fig Tree brings to me, the voice of the other. There is so much more than my comfortable assumptions. There is the recognition of the many diverse challenges for our brothers and sisters. Then there is recognizing them in us, in me. When that happens, we can begin our journey on the path to solutions. Did I say path? There are many roads. Important ones are pointed out to us by the Fig Tree. The ones which can lead us forward are widened and paved by our need and our collective will. That's why I value the enlightened mechanisms of our civilization: journalism, connection, and action. Here in Spokane, the Fig Tree, its resource directory, and efforts such as the Eastern Washington Legislative Conference our paths on that journey to remember, I am not alone. We are not alone.